Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm Judge Christina Rendes. I'm going to be handling initial appearances today. When I call your name, come up to the microphone, state your name and date of birth. I'm going to let you know what you've been picked up on, whether there's any bond, and what the conditions are. If we know your next court date, we'll let you know. Otherwise, it will be on demand. Appearances for the record, we'll start with the state. Defense.
Janine Marianti, Public Defender's Office.
Pretrial release.
Officer Dunkirk, PTR.
Right, did I miss anybody that I'm not seeing? All right, Michael Bolu.
Refused, Your Honor.
Your Honor, this is Astrid Rodriguez, your interpreter for today. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have not been sworn today, and I will be on standby for whatever inmates need an interpreter.
Do we happen to have a list of who needs an interpreter?
I have a few, Your Honor. We've got 1, 2, 3.
Judge, did you receive the information I sent over? It was a little bit late because we started early.
The initial appearance information sheets?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Madam Interpreter, if you'll raise your right hand to be sworn, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you swear to translate from English to Spanish, Spanish to English testimony together?
I do. Astrid Rodriguez, certified state interpreter.
Madam Interpreter, the folks that we have listed are Gerardo Burgos Rosario, Carolina Vapillo Leal, and Beatriz Salgado Aguilera. Do you want me to just let you know when we get to them, or would you prefer that I call them now?
No, Your Honor. They can just go in the regular order. I'm going to be sticking around for Orange anyway, so I'll be on standby.
All right, thank you. We'll
Thank
start
you.
with Michael Ballou.
Refused, Your Honor.
All right, well, we'll see him tomorrow if he decides to come. Lindsay Barham.
Approaching.
Thank you.
Lindsay Barham, 7/1990.
Thank you, ma'am. You've been picked up as a result of a violation of probation warrant. There's 0 bond set on that. Do we have the next court date? No? Court date will be on demand.
Was that a Public Defender approved, Your Honor?
You know, I don't have that information, unless I missed it. Yeah, it's not in any of this. I don't have an application, counsel. Do you know if one was submitted? Oh, sorry.
Yes, Your Honor, one was submitted.
Public defender is approved.
Thank you.
Michael Barrios.
He's in the back, that's so far away.
Standing.
He's in the cage, Your Honor.
Can we bring him up, please?
They're bringing him, Your Honor.
Thank you. He is public defender approved.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Michael Barrios, 22789.
Thank you, sir. You've been picked up on 2 charges. The first is grand theft. The second is burglary of unoccupied structure, unarmed. Court's reviewed the charging affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond will be set on the grand theft in the amount of $3,500. On the burglary unoccupied structure will be $150.
Judge, Mr. Barrios is out on bond, case number 19 CF 561, uttering forgery and petty theft. Did you want to take any action on that?
Yes, ma'am, we'll revoke the bond on that.
And bond would be set at,
0.
thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Gerardo Burgos Rosario.
And Your Honor, we would like to waive the reading of the charges in this case, and Mr. Rosario will be needing the Spanish interpreter.
Thank you.
Gerardo Burgos Rosado, 10-16 del 71.
Rosario. Repita la fecha de nacimiento.
10-16 del 71.
10/16/71.
Sir, do you understand the charges that you've been picked up on?
Señor, ¿usted entiende
Yes,
la
ma'am.
acusación por la cual ha sido detenido?
Sí,
The court's
Yes.
The court has reviewed the charging affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause.
He revisado la affidavit acusatorio y encuentro que hay motivo fundado.
On the first charge, bond will be set in the amount of $10,000.
En la primera acusación, la fianza es $10,000.
On the second charge, bond will be set in the amount of $5,000.
En la segunda acusación, $5,000 de fianza.
The pretrial release with the following conditions.
Y libertad previa a juicio con las siguientes condiciones.
No contact with the victim, Carmen Rosado.
Se le prohíbe tener contacto con la víctima, Carmen Rosado.
No contact means no in-person contact, no telephone contact, no third-party contact.
Se le prohíbe tener contacto significa que no puede tener contacto de ninguna índole, no puede tener contacto por otras personas, directo o telefónico, ni por correo electrónico, ningún tipo de contacto.
No social media contact, no contact whatsoever.
No puede tener contacto a través de las redes sociales, ningún contacto en absoluto.
You're not to have any alcohol, drugs, weapons, or firearms.
No puede utilizar alcohol, drogas, no puede tener armas o armas de fuego.
And you should be reporting for random urinalysis.
Y tiene que reportarse para pruebas del orina al azar.
Counsel, he does qualify for the public defender.
Y califica para el defensor público.
Judge, is that drug and alcohol?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor.
Theodore Cardona.
Refused, Your Honor.
All right, we'll see him tomorrow. Donald Karen.
Donald Karen, 6/21/1968.
Thank you, sir. You've been picked up on a warrant for violation of probation in 18 CT 3075. There's 0 bond on that, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
And he does qualify for the public defender. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Robert Carrion.
He's detoxing, Your Honor.
All right, we'll call him when he's available. Nicole Cordero.
Approaching, and we would like to waive the reading of the charges in this case.
Nicole Cordero, 11/25/88.
Thank you, ma'am. Been picked up as a result of an arrest warrant. I reviewed it. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond will be set in the amount of $2,500. You'll be released with pretrial release conditions, no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons, no firearms, no contact with the victim. No contact means no telephone contact, no in-person contact, no social media contact, no third-party contact, no contact whatsoever. And you do qualify for the public defender. Thank you, ma'am. Brent Lee Cummins. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Burnley Cummins, August 14th, 1999.
Thank you, sir. You've been picked up as the result of a violation of probation warrant in 18 MM 3168. There's zero bond on that, sir. You do qualify for the public defender.
All right, thank you.
Everald Gell.
Approaching, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Everett Gill, February 6, 93.
Thank you, sir. You've been picked up on the charge of loitering and prowling. I've reviewed the charging affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond will be set in the amount of $500. You do qualify for the public defender. Thank you, sir. Carolina Guapilo Leal. Madam
Your Honor,
Interpreter.
Ms. Guapillo Leal, yes.
Mr. Courtroom, sir. Don't talk to courtroom, please. Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. State your name and date of birth, please.
Buenos días, señora. Diga
Buenos
su nombre y
días, 6
fecha
de
de
julio.
nacimiento, por favor.
6 de julio de 1992.
¿Y su nombre?
Carolina Guapillo Leal.
Carolina Guapillo Leal,
And your-
July 6, 1992.
Thank you. Man, you've been picked up as a result of battery, touch, or strike. Courts reviewed the charging affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause.
Señora, usted ha sido detenido por el delito de agresión física, tocar o pegar, encontrado motivo fundado después de haber revisado el affidavit acusatorio.
Court will release you on your own recognizance, but you will report to pretrial release with the following conditions.
La voy a poner en libertad bajo palabra, pero tendrá que reportarse a libertad previa a juicio con las siguientes condiciones.
No contact with the victim, Edgar Cebrián Reynoso.
Se le prohíbe tener contacto con la víctima, Edgar Cebrián Reynoso.
No contact means no telephone contact, no in-person contact.
No contacto significa que no puede tener contacto telefónico ni en persona.
No third-party contact, no social media contact.
No puede tener contacto a través de terceras personas o a través de redes sociales.
It means no contact whatsoever.
Significa que no puede tener contacto en lo absoluto.
No alcohol, no drugs, no weapons, no firearms.
Se le prohíbe utilizar alcohol o drogas, armas blancas o armas de fuego.
Judge,
Yes, ma'am?
this type of charge, because it's a 907, requires bond with PTR, unless you want to release her on her own,
She was released on her own.
Yeah, I did ROR.
with PTR.
With
With PTR.
No PTR.
Okay, well then
Judge.
$1,000 with PTR.
Or you can release her on her own recognizance.
$1,000 with
Without.
PTR.
La fianza es $1,000 con libertad previa a juicio.
Your Honor, with regards to the no hostile contact, Ms. Guapillo Leal and her husband, they they have children in common. Would the court entertain no hostile contact?
No, counsel, not today.
La abogada está preguntando si la jueza estaría de acuerdo a permitirle tener contacto no hostil con su esposo, ya que tienen hijos en común, pero la jueza no está de acuerdo. Así es que va en pie lo de la prohibición de tener contacto.
Thank you, ma'am.
Gracias, señora.
There's nothing on this sheet. Counsel, do you know if she did the PD application? Because there's nothing on here.
Let me ask, Your Honor. She did, Your Honor.
Okay, do you know what was on it?
Give me 1 second, Your Honor. Your Honor, the representative from Social Services is here. She's informing me that the clerk informed her that Ms. Guapillo Leal was approved for the public defender.
All right, well, I don't really have any information, so I'm going to provisionally appoint, and then the trial judge can deal with it at that point.
Thank you.
Se le va Se le va a asignar un defensor público provisionalmente hasta que se determine su elegibilidad. Gracias.
Frank Heligar. Good morning, sir. State your name and
Frank
date of
Helliger,
birth.
Morning, Frank Helliger, 10/6 of 1966.
Thank you, sir. You've been picked up on knowingly driving while license suspended. I've reviewed the charging affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond will be set in the amount of $500. There's also a violation of probation in 19 CT 779 that's set at 0 bond. You do qualify for the public defender.
Judge, Mr. Helligard is also out on bond on 2 Orange County cases, both duelist charges. Case number 19 CT 25150, also 19 CT 25140. Did you want to take any action?
No, ma'am, the court won't be taking any action on those today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Donna Lato.
Good morning, Your Honor. Donald Thomas Lato, 860, 1957.
Thank you, sir. You've been picked up on 2 charges. The first is possession of controlled substance without a prescription. The second is possession or use of drug paraphernalia. Court's reviewed the charging affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond will be set on the controlled substance in the amount of $1,000. Paraphernalia, $500. Pretrial release conditions, no alcohol, no drugs, and random urinalysis.
That's both alcohol and drug, Judge?
Yes, ma'am? And you do qualify
And
for the
Your Honor,
public
if I may,
defender.
Your Honor, if I may, in reading the affidavit, it seems to me like there was no probable cause for the search that came up with what he's being charged with. Your Honor, and I'm sure the court's aware, based on the legalization of hemp in the state of Florida, the smell of burnt cannabis is no longer probable cause for a search. And based on what I'm reading in the affidavit, it seems like the probable cause for the search was the smell of burnt cannabis.
Well, counsel,
And so I understand,
he also consented to the search, so the request will be denied.
thank you, Your Honor.
Carlos Morero Lozado.
Afternoon, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Carlos Marrero, June 26, 91.
Thank you, sir. You've been picked up on 2 charges. The first is grand theft. The second is use of anti-shoplifting device. Court's reviewed the charge.
My apologies, Your Honor. Mr. Moreno has just informed me that he's going to need the services of the interpreter.
Okay. Good morning, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Buenos días, señor. Diga su nombre y fecha de nacimiento, por favor.
Carlos Marrero, 1991.
Carlos Marrero, 1991.
Sir, if you need the services of the interpreter, you must speak in the language for the interpretation to take place. Do you understand?
Señor, si usted ha solicitado los servicios de la intérprete, usted tiene que hablar en el idioma en el idioma debido para que la intérprete pueda ayudarle, ¿entiende?
Sí.
Yes.
He's been picked up on 2 charges. The first is grand theft. The second is use of anti-shoplifting device.
Usted ha sido arrestado por 2 acusaciones. El primero es por hurto cuantioso y el segundo es por utilizar un equipo de antirrobo.
Court's reviewed the charging affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause.
He revisado el affidavit acusatorio y encuentro que hay motivo fundado.
Bond will be set as follows on the grand theft in the amount of $500.
La fianza será lo siguiente. En el caso de un hurto cuantioso será $500 de fianza.
Use of anti-shoplifting device, $2,500.
En el uso de un dispositivo antirrobo será $2,500 de fianza.
Or no return to the Walmart located at 3250 Vineland Road in Kissimmee.
No puede regresar a la tienda de Walmart ubicada en el 3250 Vineland Road en Kissimmee.
And you do qualify for the public defender.
Usted califica para los servicios del defensor público.
Thank you, sir.
Judge,
Gracias.
Ma'am?
Judge, I would also ask for no contact with the co-defendant.
Defense, there's also going to be no contact with the co-defendant.
Señor, también se le prohíbe tener contacto con el coacusado.
Judge, Mr. Marrero is out on bond in Orange County on case number 19 CF 11158 for possession of anti-shopping device and grand theft as well.
Court will be revoking and setting zero.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, would you please repeat that for the interpreter?
The court will be revoking and setting the bond at zero.
Usted está en probatoria en el caso 19 CF 11158. Perdón, estaba libre bajo fianza. En ese caso, por los mismos cargos, uso de un dispositivo antirrobo y hurto cuantioso, se le va a revocar la fianza en ese caso y la fianza será fijada en cero.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Vidal Malicio de Jesus.
Melesio de Jesus, 82083.
Thank you, sir. You've been picked up as a result of a failure to appear in 19 CT 999. Bond is set at the amount of $2,999.
Judge, he has two cases.
Oh, I only have one. Oh, wait, sorry. The second case is a violation of probation, 18 MM 4362. Bond is set in the amount of $1,000. And on that case, you qualify for the public defender.
Thank you, Judge.
He qualifies in one case and not the other, Your Honor?
I don't have any information on the other one, counsel. None. There
Thank
isn't
you.
anything attached.
Understood.
Oh, the clerk's just informed me that's for both cases, so public defender will be appointed in both. Sorry. William Messick.
Your Honor, Mr. Messick would like to waive the reading of the charges in this case.
Yes, ma'am?
William Messick, 102263.
Thank you, sir. Are you aware of the charges that you've been picked up on, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
The court's reviewed the arrest warrant. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond will be set on the first count in the amount of $2,500. The second count will be $150. And sir, I'm going to require you to report to pretrial release. And you do qualify for the public defender. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Jesus Montalvo. Good morning, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Jesus Montalvo, 3/24/1991.
Thank you, sir. You've been picked up on the charge of battery. It's felony domestic battery. Court's reviewed the charging affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond will be set in the amount of $2,500. Pretrial release and mental health. The conditions will be no contact with the victim, Marcelina Rosario. Sir, that means no telephone contact, no in-person contact, no third-party contact, no social media contact, no contact whatsoever. You're not to have any drugs or alcohol unless it is prescription drugs for which you have a prescription for. No weapons, no firearms, and no return to 1015 Summer Street in Kissimmee.
Your Honor, if I may,
Ma'am?
I read the affidavit, and I know that for domestic battery by strangulation, there needs to be allegations that the victim's airway was cut off and she wasn't able to breathe. I wasn't able to find that in the police report, so I'm not sure if the court has some kind of supplement that defense hasn't received.
Response from state?
Yes, Judge, the victim does indicate he began strangling her. I don't believe that whether or not she's able to breathe is a decision for probable cause, that's a charging decision.
Understood, Your Honor. In making this argument, I was not to make it that there was no probable cause at all. This is more a bond argument. If the court would entertain placing a bond based off of regular domestic violence battery versus domestic violence battery by strangulation, seeing as though that's not included in the police report.
No, given my review of the charging affidavit, the bond will remain at what I announced.
And then as far as the no contact order, the alleged victim in this case is Mr. Montalvo's mother. She was actually calling for a Baker Act, and instead of Mr. Montalvo being Baker Acted, he was arrested. She's also his primary caretaker. Mr. Montalvo has some mental health concerns. He is not aware of what medications he takes, when he needs to take them. That's all done by his mother. In the police report, she did indicate to the police that she did not want to prosecute. And so if the court would entertain no hostile contact,
No, I won't be entertaining that today, counsel. Again, given the nature of the information contained within the charging affidavit, and he is being released on pretrial release with mental health conditions.
understood.
Judge, just for clarification with Mr. Montalvo, that's $2,500 with PTR with mental health conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And was the public defender approved in this case, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Beatriz Salgado Aguilar.
She'll be needing the services of the Spanish interpreter, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good morning, ma'am. State your name and date of birth, please.
Buenos días, señora. Diga su nombre y fecha de nacimiento, por favor.
Buenos días. Enero 25 de 1988.
Su nombre.
Beatriz Salgado.
Good morning, January 25th, 1988. Beatriz Salgado.
Thank you. Ma'am, you've been picked up on a battery charge. The court's reviewed the charging affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause.
Señora, usted ha sido detenida por agresión física. He revisado el affidavit acusatorio y encuentro que hay motivo fundado.
Bond will be set in the amount of $1,000.
La fianza será fijada en $1,000.
We'll have pretrial release with the following conditions.
Tendrá libertad previa a juicio con las siguientes condiciones.
No contact with the victim, Gabriel.
No puede tener contacto con la víctima, Gabriel.
You're not to have any alcohol or drugs.
No puede utilizar alcohol o drogas.
No weapons, no firearms.
No puede tener armas, armas blancas, armas de fuego.
A no return to 2514 Davenport Circle in Kissimmee.
Y no puede regresar a 2514 Davenport Circle en Kissimmee.
You do qualify for the public defender.
Usted califica para el defensor público.
Thank you.
Judge,
Gracias.
we spoke to the, I'm sorry, Judge, we spoke to the victim and they request contact, no hostile.
I saw your
and-
note.
Okay,
I'm not allowing contact at this time.
thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
La juez va a permitir que haya contacto no hostil.
Damian Stovall.
Your Honor, for counsel's clarification, I heard the court say no contact, and then I just heard the interpreter say no hostile contact. So can we clarify that?
The court's order is no contact.
La
Thank
orden
you.
judicial es que se le prohíbe tener contacto, o sea, no puede tener contacto en absoluto con la víctima.
Thank you. We have Damian Stovall. Good morning, morning, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Damien Stovall, June 5th, 1990.
All right, sir, I'm gonna need you to speak up. I can't hear you.
Damien Stovall, June 5th, 1990.
Thank you, sir. You've been picked up on trespass of occupied structure or conveyance. Court's reviewed the charging affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond will be set in the amount of $1,000. Sir, you're not to return to the Clarion Inn and Suites located at 4985 West Earl Bronson Memorial Highway. You do qualify for the public
Your
defender.
Honor. Your Honor, Ms. Stovall has informed me that she is currently a student at Howard University. She's requested that I ask for direct PTR, if possible, so that she can get back in time for classes.
Meets the criteria, Judge.
What does Ms. Stovall have to do with Mr. Stovall?
Your Honor, she is their preferred pronoun.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. Court will release ROR.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Still no return to the Clarion Inn Suites.
Understood.
Thank you. Christopher Vargas.
Christopher Vargas, January 20th, 1993.
Thank you, sir. You've been picked up on 2 charges. The first is grand theft. The second is use of anti-shoplifting device. Court's reviewed the charging affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Court's going to establish bond on the grand theft in the amount of $500. On the use of anti-shoplifting device, it'll be $2,500. No return to the Walmart located at 3250 Vineland Road in Kissimmee, and no contact with the co-defendant. Sir, you qualify for the public defender. Zachary Powell.
Zachary Powell, 12/9/1986, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. You've been picked up, well, you're being charged with introduction of contraband in a detention facility. Reviewed the charging affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond on this charge will be set in the amount of $1,000. You're not to have any drugs or alcohol. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
You do qualify for the public defender. Thank you. James Brown.
James Brown, 9/27/1986.
Thank you, sir. Been picked up on a couple of charges. The first is possession of controlled substance without a prescription. Second is possession of drug paraphernalia. I've reviewed the charging affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond on the controlled substance will be set in the amount of $1,000. On possession of paraphernalia, it'd be set at $500. Sir, you're not to have any drugs or alcohol, and no return to the Travel Lodge located at 2295 East Earl Bronson Memorial Highway in Kissimmee. And you do qualify for the public defender. Then that's going to bring us to the next matter, which is a failure to appear in 19 MM 1693. There's a $1,000 bond set on that, sir. Thank you. Stephanie Summers. Good morning, ma'am. State your name and date of birth, please.
Stephanie Summers, 3/18/90.
Thank you. Been picked up for trespass after warning. I've reviewed the charging affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond will be set in the amount of $500. Ma'am, you're not to return to the Walgreens located at 1111 West Vine Street in Kissimmee, and you do qualify for the public defender.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Counsel, you got anyone else over there that we haven't dealt with this morning?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. We'll see you tomorrow then.
My apologies, Your Honor. Can I just have 1 second?
Sure.
Your Honor, Mr. Hellinger, he was towards the beginning. It's Frank Hellinger.
Give me a moment. I'm gonna have to get the
Your
picture
Honor.
back. Yes, counsel?
Mr. Hellinger, PTR informed you that he had two open cases in Orange County. The court took no action on it. Mr. Hellinger is actually asking if his bond can be revoked in those cases as well.
No. I'm not taking any
Thank you,
action
Your
on
Honor.
those cases.
That's all we had, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Appearances today. Can we have appearances for the record, please? Pretrial
Robert
release.
Williams, on behalf of the Office of the Public Defender.
Pretrial release.
Officer Gurley, pretrial release.
Thank you. Adrian Burball.
Good afternoon, Judge. Do they bring him out? Oh, I'm in call.
Well, I'm not going back.
Okay. No, it's just, I could address it without him. Where do I stand?
Counsel, you ready to proceed?
Yes, Judge.
Sir, state your name and date of birth, please.
Adrian Burble, 12/19/1998.
Thank you, sir. Been picked up on a warrant for violation of probation. There's no bond set on it. Your attorney has filed a motion to set bond for violation of probation. State, are you prepared to argue that motion?
Judge, in this particular case, he finished, the only reason I filed it, and I don't usually do it like this, but in this particular case, I felt like I had a decent argument on it. He's successfully completed everything. He's done all his community service hours. He's done his anger management courses. He has a stable residence, stable employment, makes $400 a week. He voluntarily surrendered himself when he found out he had this warrant. This is based on a new law violation that was an incident that occurred at a Walmart in August of 2018, but the state attorney's office did not file it, didn't do anything with it until May 2nd of 2019. They didn't actually, there was an information filed months later, in the case. During that time, after the incident at Walmart, he wasn't arrested for that case. It's an alleged petty theft with a co-defendant. I believe there was another person that was arrested along with him, but they didn't do anything with it. But during that time that he didn't think that anything was happening with that case. During that time, he did everything he had to do on probation and never violated, never had a problem with the law. And I was just trying to, I don't think he has a criminal history before the burglary charge. So, and he's not a flight risk, and his family owns the home. His family that hired me owns their home in Kissimmee, and there's nowhere else he can go. I know I'm proffering a lot of what he would tell the court, but for expediting the process, that's what I'm doing. And I could take testimony, but as an officer of the court, that's what he would testify to.
Response from state?
Like I said, Judge, I'm going to be leaving it in your discretion.
So the problem, Mr. Blanco, is that I don't have anyone from probation to be able to confirm everything that's being stated today.
I got my information off of the VOP affidavit, which should be there before the court.
I have it, but I don't have any confirmation from probation, so I'm not going to be able to move forward on this motion today. You'll need to file it with the trial judge so that he can have all the evidence that he needs to be able to make that determination.
And who is the trial judge?
It's Judge Jordan.
Judge Jordan?
He's the one that issued the warrant, so that's my assumption.
Yes. Okay, Judge.
All right.
Thank you for your time this
sir.
afternoon, Your Honor.
And then, did they bring up Dwayne McCurvin?
They just did, Your Honor. Thank you.
Appearance for defense?
Michael Pinella.
Thank you. Sir, state your name and date of birth, please.
Dwayne McCurvin, August 20, 1986.
Thank you, sir. Been picked up on aggravated battery, great bodily harm with a weapon. Court's reviewed the arrest affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Counsel, what would you like me to consider?
Your Honor, there's a couple things from the arrest affidavit that you have in front of you that I'd just like to point out under the unique facts of this particular case. I would ask for a reasonable bond. The first thing that I'd like to point out is that it was clear that he was actually engaged in his work that he was supposed to be doing when approached by the alleged victim in this case, who came out and was the initial aggressor. It's very clear that what happened here was that he was upset that his cable was cut. Mr. McCurvin, I think the arrest affidavit even says, drops lines for Spectrum.
Counsel, I've read it.
Okay, so the issue here is that the great bodily harm isn't even met, that standard in that affidavit. If you look at the second line, it says that there was a small laceration.
Actually, it says 4 to 5 inch laceration, and that was from the result of a shovel being swung at the.
I understand, Your Honor. I think the word right before that, as at least described by the officer who was there, says a small 4 to 5 inch laceration, unless I'm looking at a different report. We're not suggesting that this didn't occur. We're simply suggesting that this was, under the facts of this, he was actually, my client was not the initial aggressor here. Even the third-party witness says he could not tell who was. So he does know that there was a mutual situation. The victim in this case admits in that arrest affidavit that he did approach him, that he was using profanity, that there was a mutual situation going on here. It's an unfortunate situation, no doubt, but I'm simply asking for a reasonable bond so we can continue to work on this case and get through this. It's entirely possible this is a self-defense matter.
Response from state?
Judge, based on the facts on the affidavit as written, I would just ask that you follow the bond schedule.
Bond to be set in the amount of $5,000. He's to have no contact with the victim.
And he does qualify for PTR, Your Honor.
I'm not going to do pretrial release on this one. I don't think it's necessary. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have. May I be excused?
You may. Thank you, sir. And Mario Sanchez Castellanos. Parents for defense.
Officer, Robert Williams with the Office of the Public Defender.
Thank you, sir. I just want to make sure that we've got the Office of the Public Defender on the record now that we've handled 2 private matters.
Okay, that's fine.
Sir, state your name and date of birth, please. Yes, ma'am. Santiago Cruz.
Mario Sánchez Castellano, 1997. 11 de mayo. Ajá. Mario Sánchez Castellanos.
Mario Santos Castellano, May 11th, 1997.
Thank you, sir. You've been picked up on 2 warrants for failure to appear. Both are set at no bond. Sir, do you want the public defender to be appointed to you in this case?
¿Cómo? Sí.
Yes.
Public defender will be provisionally appointed, pending further review by the court. Thank you, sir.
Okay. No escuché.
Santiago Cruz. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Santiago Meléndez Cruz, diciembre 7 de 1976.
Thank you, sir. Been picked up on grand theft in 3rd degree. Oops, I got ahead of myself again. I'm sorry, Esther. Go ahead.
Santiago Menendez Cruz, December 7th, 1976.
I'm sorry, I sometimes get ahead of myself when there's translation going.
No worries, Your Honor.
Sir, you've been picked up on grand theft, which is the 3rd degree. Court's reviewed the arrest affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond will be set in the amount of $1,000. You're not to return to the Home Depot located at 6130 East Colonial Drive. Sir, were you asking for the public defender to be appointed in this case?
Sí.
The public defender will be
Yes.
provisionally appointed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Jonathan Garcia Barello. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Jonathan García Perello, julio 5 del 94. García Perello.
Jonathan Garcia Perello, July 5th, 1994.
Thank you, sir. You've been picked up on petty theft. Court's reviewed the arrest affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond will be set in the amount of $250. You're not to return to the Walmart located at 8101 South John Young Parkway. Were you asking for the public defender to be appointed, sir?
No.
No.
Are you going to be hiring your own attorney?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, thank you, sir. I'm sorry? Do an on-view violation of probation. Where's that out of county? I missed that one right there. Was a warrant issued with no bond on it? There are actually 2? Or just extra copies, okay. All right, thank you, sir. DeMarcus George.
Yes, ma'am.
State your name and date of birth, please.
Gary and George, July 8, 2002.
Thank you, sir. You've been picked up on, that's got some major feedback going. You've been picked up on 2 violation of probation out-of-county warrants. They're out of Seminole County. There's no bond set on those, sir.
Your Honor, are the services of the interpreter needed any further?
No? No, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
You too. Ahmed, is it Taya?
Yes, Your Honor.
State your name and date of birth, please.
Ahmed Taya, 040576.
Thank you, sir. You've been picked up on 2 charges. The first is domestic violence battery. The second is false imprisonment, domestic violence. Court's reviews affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. You do qualify for the public defender. Bond on the domestic violence battery will be set in the amount of $1,000. On the false imprisonment, it will be set at $3,000. Sir, you're not to have any contact with, is it Feroz? Am I pronouncing that correctly? Feroz? Your wife?
Proceed, Your Honor.
You're not to have any contact with your wife and then your children, Noor, Omar, or Mohammed. No alcohol, no drugs, no weapons, no firearms, and no return to the home.
Your Honor, can you have a one-time return to recover his personal belongings, please?
Yes, sir, with the assistance of law enforcement.
Judge, have we been appointed the Office of the Public Defender?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I said that initially.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry. Roger Christopher,
Yes, ma'am.
state your name and date of birth, please.
Bartell Christopher, 5/12/1966, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. You picked up for battery, domestic violence.
Yes, ma'am.
Court's reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Sir, you're to have no contact with the victim, Megan Rose Baker. No
Yes, ma'am.
alcohol, no drugs, no weapons, no
I don't do
firearms.
drugs.
If you can quit talking while I'm talking, we can get this along a little bit quicker, okay? Sir, on your affidavit, your application for criminal indigence, you indicated that you earn $770 a month for Social Security.
Yes, ma'am.
Public defender will be appointed. Looks like you're also out on bond in 2 cases, 19 CF 8112 and 19 CF 7867. The bond in each of those will be revoked. Zero.
On this,
On this.
and that two out of county are revoked.
Yes.
Excuse me, on a bond cases are revoked, okay.
Yes, sir.
They're revoked?
Revoked. You might want to speak with your attorney first before you do that.
4 months. They've never even filed no charges on these cases.
Sir, it's probably best that you don't provide any additional information because anything that you say can be used against you in all of your cases.
Yes, ma'am, I
So
understand that.
you should really speak with your attorney about that, okay? Thank you. Victoria Morris. Good afternoon. State your name and date of birth, please.
Victoria Lee Morris, February 2nd, 1989.
Thank you. Ms. Morris, you've been picked up on battery domestic violence. I've reviewed the charging affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Ma'am, were you asking for the public defender to be appointed?
No,
Are you gonna hire your own attorney?
I can't afford any attorney at all.
Okay, so do you want the public defender to be appointed to represent you?
Yeah. Yes, please.
All right. Bond on this charge will be set in the amount of $1,000. You're not to have any contact with the victim, Sylvanus Modeste. You're also not to return to 1005 Street. No alcohol, no drugs, no weapons, no firearms.
Your Honor, can she at a one-time return to recover her personal belongings?
With the assistance of law enforcement, yes, sir. I'm sorry? She didn't qualify.
No, she didn't.
Draquan Horace?
Yes, ma'am.
State your name and date of birth, please.
5/26/90.
And your name?
Draquan Horace.
Thank you, sir. You've been picked up for domestic violence battery. I've reviewed the rest affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond will be set in the amount of $1,000. Sir, you're not to have any hostile contact with the victim, i.e. your brother, Eric.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, no yelling, no pushing, no nothing.
All
Because
right.
if cops are called, guess who's going to jail?
Yes, ma'am.
That would be you.
All right.
No alcohol, no drugs, unless they're prescription drugs. Looks like you're out on your own recognizance for criminal mischief.
Mm-hmm.
That will be revoked and bond will be set in the amount of $500.
So my bond $500?
Well, your bond on the criminal mischief is $500. Your bond on this case is $1,000.
one charge. I don't get it.
The attorney will explain it to you, sir.
Judge, was there also no weapons order?
Yes, no weapons, no firearms. Laura Fogg. Good afternoon, ma'am. State your name and date of birth, please.
What was that again? I can't hear you.
State your name and date of birth, please.
Laura Lee Fagg, and my date of birth is 12/21/1966.
Thank you. Ma'am, you've been picked up for trespass on property after warning. I reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond,
Well, the problem was,
ma'am, I don't want you to discuss facts of the case today, because if you do, that can be used against you in further proceedings. Today's the day that I tell you what the charges are. We let you know what the bond and any conditions.
I would really like medical PCR because I thought I could trust my husband and his attorney to start the whole proposal.
Well, you don't qualify for PTR release, ma'am.
What was that?
You do not qualify for pretrial release.
Why is that?
There are qualifications. You don't qualify for it.
because I had it one time before, you only get it one time, is that it?
No, ma'am. Bond on this case will be set in the amount of $500, and you're not to return to 101 North Rosalind Avenue, which is Lake Eola Park.
So what do I need to do? I didn't hear you exactly, because I'm deaf in one ear from a stroke from being raped for the wrong reason.
Your bond is set at $500.
Okay, when can I pay that?
At any time now.
Anytime?
Yes, ma'am. PD, you're appointed, by the way.
Thank you. I'll put her, I gave her a paper.
Okay. Timothy Holloman,
Yes.
state your name and date of birth, please.
Timmy Holloman, 11/1986.
Sir, you've been picked up on petty theft. Reviewed the affidavit, I find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond is set in the amount of $250. There'll be no return to the Walmart located at 11250 East Colonial Parkway. Colonial Drive, I should say.
Is it possible I can be ROR?
No, sir. Sir, it appears that you earn $400 a week, is that correct? You do not qualify for the public defender then. It also looks like you're out on your own recognizance in 19 CF 9224. The court won't take any action on that today. Sir, state your name and date of birth, please.
Andrew Jackson, July 14, 1966.
Counselor, are you wanting to waive the charges, the reading of the charges?
Yeah.
What's that? Yes, Your Honor, yes, just saw.
Sir, without stating anything in particular, do you understand what you're being charged with?
Yep.
You understand there's 10 counts on that?
Yes.
Okay. Court has reviewed the arrest warrant and find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond will be set in the amount of $1,000 on the first count, $1,000 on the second, and each subsequent account. You're not to have any unsupervised contact with minors, no use of internet or social media. And you do qualify for the public defender. Michael Brown,
Yes.
is that you? She's got a microphone right there for you, sir.
Oh, right here. Yes, ma'am.
State your name and date of birth, please.
Van Michael Brown, November 2nd, 1945.
Thank you, sir. Sir, you've been picked up for 37 charges of false 911 calls. Reviewed the warrant. I find there's sufficient probable cause.
Your Honor, the government here tells me to call them because nobody's allowed to talk to me. They said, well, call us. That's the only reason I called them, Your
Sir,
Honor.
I don't want you to explain anything about your case today because that can be used against you. Today's purposes is just to let you know what the charges are against you and to set bond, if any, okay? So any other discussions you need to have with your attorney outside the presence of the court, okay?
Hey, man, and there's another thing. There's this woman I love, and she loves me. They won't let us get married. They tell me, go see the president, the president, you know. That's what the government here tells me. Can you help me with that?
Well, unfortunately, I don't have the power to help you with that, sir.
How much your love like?
Yep.
Bond will be set on the first count in the amount of $2,500. Each subsequent bond will be $150. You do qualify for the public defender. Counsel, I'd like an evaluation to be ordered as well.
Okay.
Mental health evaluation.
Okay.
Thank
How
you.
much is my bond?
It's $2,500 on the first count and $150 on all the subsequent.
On the next one?
Yep, on all the counts, all you,
What, oh,
so,
I don't know.
round down to count. How many counts was you, Your Honor?
I showed 37.
37. I guess I'm getting married soon. I guess
It's
they,
$150 for counts 2 to 37. And
from 2 to 37
for
counts.
each, for each counts, $150.
100 for, how much
For
is
each
that?
I'm not,
You know, like the bondsman says, well, they're gonna update your bond. Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. God bless America.
Thank you, sir. Good luck to you. You got that I want an evaluation ordered on that. I'm sorry? No, I want them all at 150. Yes, ma'am. Darius Sneed,
Yes, ma'am.
state your name and date of birth, please.
Darius Darvell Sneed, December 13, 1977.
Thank you, sir. You've been picked up as a result of a failure to appear. There's no bond set on that. Public defender is appointed.
Your Honor, when was that warrant issued? If that was,
It looks like the failure to appear was for August 14th. He did appear in front of Judge Cast on August 23rd, but the failure to appear was August 14th,
okay,
according to the affidavit.
and she didn't, so, all right. And the failure to appear was August 14th,
Yes, sir.
and there was a issue, there was a KPS issue on for August 14th,
Yes, sir.
and he was, and then you came.
Says the judge ordered the defendant to be taken into custody for failure to appear on the previous date.
Is it for my attorney?
No, she did not. And she said a zero bond on that?
Yes, sir.
Had a competency hearing, how can I get a failure to appear?
His next court date is August 28th, though.
Okay.
He said I had to speak to the lawyer, he said I had to speak to. He said I had to speak to.
Mr. Sneed, do you want the public defender appointed to represent you in this matter?
Yes,
you already
ma'am.
have someone?
I was told I was supposed to speak to a doctor on the 28th,
and that's the only reason why I'm being held.
Okay, well, you're actually scheduled to go see the judge on the 28th, so maybe you all can work that out, okay?
He said he was going to release me on the 28th because I.
All right, well, you'll have to take that up with Judge Kest, okay? Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Stephen Haddon, August 3rd, 1959.
One more time.
Stephen Haddon, August 3rd, 1959.
Thank you, sir. Been picked up for trespass on property after warning. It's a $500 bond set. There's sufficient probable cause. You're not to return to 11300 University Boulevard.
Time served.
I'm sorry? Jerry Newsom.
Yes, ma'am.
State your name and date of birth, please.
10/17/54,
And your name, sir?
Jerry Stevens Newsom,
Thank you, sir.
10/17/54.
Looks like you've been picked up for open container. There's a $250
I was, yes,
bond.
ma'am.
There's a $250 bond on that, sir.
Ma'am,
There's a $250 bond on that.
I got stand a bond.
You're gonna have a bond in the amount of $250.
I don't have either.
Well, now I'm establishing it.
Okay, thank you.
Repeating. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
My name is Alvesta Cook.
Thank you, sir. Been picked up as a result of violation of probation. The bond amount on that has been set at $1,000. You do qualify for the public defender.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. This violation.
Sir, I don't want you to talk about the specifics of the violation because that can be used against
I'll be
you.
reserving all my rights. Thank you. This, what's going on here is you telling me that when I was just in custody and bonded out a few weeks ago, when the violation should have been through because of default on your corporation against my corporation, stated that I was violating probation. However, when I was released, it's because I paid a bond because I had no charges against me.
Okay, what I'm telling you,
because
sir?
your corporation did
Well-
not prompt to do their job properly. Now you're trespassing upon my well-being and also my nation. My name is Alvester Tommy Ray Cook, all caps. Thank you very much.
And your bond is set at $1,000. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
So, one moment.
No.
So
No,
for
sir.
the court's
We're finished.
record,
Thank you.
for the court's record, you are forcing me here, right? Yeah, you could do that. I'm giving you the number.
Donta Thomas. Sir, state your name and date of birth, please.
Dante Philip Michael Thomas, 31186.
Thank you, sir. You've been picked up on violation of probation warrant. There's no bond set on that. Public defender is appointed to represent you in this matter.
Why is no bond?
Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Russell Paul Owen,
Your date of birth, sir?
12/10/62.
Thank you. Sir, do you receive Social Security benefits?
Yes, ma'am.
How much do you receive per month?
$762.
$762?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, based upon that information, the court's going to find that you do qualify for the public defender. Sir, you've been picked up on violation of probation. There is no bond issued on that. Two of them. Sir, state your name and date of birth, please.
Warren Kennett, 3/26/65.
Thank you, sir. Sir, are you asking for the public defender to be appointed in this case?
No, ma'am.
Are you going to be obtaining your own private attorney?
I'm prepared to just plead guilty at this time.
State, do you have an offer? This is Warren Kennett. Sir, there's no offer for today. Bond is going to be set in the amount of $250, okay? Good
So
luck.
I can't plead guilty today?
No, sir. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Kenneth Miller, 2654.
Thank you, sir. Sir, you've been picked up for disorderly conduct. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Public defender will be appointed in this matter. Bond is set in the amount of $250.
Judge,
Yes.
from the charge and reading some of the facts in the affidavit, I'm going to ask, can he be released RR? Because I don't believe he may have the financial means to meet, or anyone he can probably have or come into contact with to meet the bond.
Response from state.
This is Kenneth Miller, Judge.
Yes, ma'am.
I would be objecting to a straight RR based on the history.
The bond will be set at $250, given the history.
People or nothing like that?
Is that offer from the state, Your Honor?
What offer of 8 days?
Credit time served?
8-day time served, please. What is it?
Yeah, credit time served. Credit time served.
I got a day?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. yes.
So how many days? He has 8 in?
No, we didn't have 8 days.
How many does he have?
I have 8 days in, and they give me 2 days time, so I got a day, sir. I have 8 in.
Yeah, 2 days, so you have 6 days. Then we go down, no credit time served?
Time served 2 days?
5, 3 more days.
Yeah, yeah, man, come on.
You gonna do it?
Yeah. Can I ask somebody, I'm supposed to get some pain pills, anybody gave me nothing, I'm about to die in this kind of jail, man. That's why I thought getting 2-day time served. I just had these things still within my belly, my hernia. I let it die in jail. That's why I thought getting 2-day time served, I'll be able to I could have got my own medication, miss. I'm about to die in the jail.
If you need medical, you can go to medical, sir.
No, they don't give me no Percocets, miss. These are Percocets I'm supposed to get. I got this from the hospital.
I understand.
I just got out of the hospital. I thought I would get 2-day time served with this little charge I got. I've been got this medication myself, miss. I'm about to die in the jail, miss.
Sir, your bond has been set at $250. You can either bond out or you can appear at your next court date.
I mean,
Yes, sir, we're done. Thank
I
you.
mean, what they gave me
Non-line of plea?
they gave me a plea?
Yeah, 3, you gotta do 3 more days.
Come on, man, that shit. Huh? No?
Doesn't
2
appear that he wants to take the state's offer of 5 days.
Yeah, I tell you, my will, yeah.
Then you got 2 days.
Okay, yeah, man. I got to do 3 more days.
Sir, raise your right hand to be sworn, please. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yeah, that's right. Ma'am?
Sir, I have a plea form in my hand which appears to have your signature on it.
Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. I said yes, ma'am.
Did you read it? You can
Yes.
put your hand down.
Oh,
Did you read it?
yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you need any additional time to speak with the attorney before moving forward?
Oh, ma'am.
Paragraph 3 sets forth your not 3, whew. First set of paragraphs set forth your constitutionally protected rights, including but not limited to your right to a jury trial, your right to a speedy trial. Do you agree to waive those rights in exchange for the court accepting this plea today?
I'm upset with the plea.
Do you agree to waive your constitutionally protected rights in order so that the court can accept your plea today?
Yes, yes.
If you are not a United States citizen, do you understand that by entering into this plea, it will be cause for deportation?
Ma'am?
If you are not a United
I'm
States
United States
citizen?
citizen, yes.
Okay. Based upon the court's review of the affidavit, I find there's sufficient factual basis to move forward. Sir, I'm going to find that you are alert and intelligent, that you're entering into this plea freely and voluntarily, and the court will accept it. The terms of the plea are 5 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for time served of 2 days. Sir, do you have any questions?
No, no, ma'am.
You have 30 days in which to appeal. If you need the services of an attorney, you can apply to the court. If you qualify, one will be appointed to you. Good luck to you, sir. I'm sorry? Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Tyrus Davis, June 29th, 1995.
What happened to Mr. Rivera?
She bonded, Your Honor.
Oh. So you've been picked up on aggravated battery. I've reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. You do qualify for the public defender. Bond will be set in the amount of $1,500.
He does qualify for PTR, Your Honor.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Pretrial release, no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons, no firearms, no contact with Slimer Hernandez, and no return to 5226 via,
I believe she might not.
oh, I'm sorry. Ma'am, state your name, please.
Solomar Hernandez.
And Ms. Hernandez, what would you like the court to consider?
I do not want to do the no contact contracting. I want us to stay in contact due to that I am pregnant by his child, and I want him to be involved with the child.
State, would you like to inquire?
Briefly, Judge, Ms. Hernandez, do you have any children other than the one that's?
No, no,
And how long have you been with the defendant?
a year and a half.
You guys reside together?
I'm sorry?
You guys reside together?
Live together? Yes.
How long?
Same around time, a year and a half.
And are you in fear of Mr. Davis?
No,
And if something were to happen like this in the future, would you contact law enforcement?
yes.
I have no further questions.
Court's going to order no hostile contact. He's still not to return to the home at 5226 via Hacienda number 113. Sir, if there's any hostile contact whatsoever, guess who's going to jail? I need a verbal response. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
That means no arguing, no pushing, no nothing. If you feel temperature is starting to heat up, you need to leave. But you're not allowed at that residence anyway. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, do you understand that?
Yes,
I mean, the order is against him, but you can't participate in it either.
correct.
All right. I'm sorry? 1,500.
All right, Your Honor,
Was it bond and PTR, Your Honor?
What?
The last one, was it bond and PTR? The
Yes.
last guy, yes?
It was 1,500 and PTR.
both?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, no firearms, no hostile contact.
And he needs a one-time return to go get his personal belongings, Ms.
He can return one time with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve his personal items. Can you push the microphone down a little bit further? There you go. Ma'am, state your name and date of birth, please.
Talonda Lee, 11/11/98.
Thank you. Ms. Lee, do you work?
Excuse me?
Do you work?
Yes.
And how much do you earn?
950.
One more time?
950.
Based on that income, you do not qualify for the public defender. You've been picked up on 3 charges. One is aggravated assist with deadly weapon, domestic violence battery, and domestic violence assault. Reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Aggravated assault with deadly weapon. Bond will be issued in the amount of $5,000. Domestic violence battery will be issued in the amount of $1,000. And domestic violence assault will be issued at $150. You're not to return to 1424 25th Street, and no contact with Clarence McClendon. Thank you, ma'am.
No weapons?
No weapons, no firearms, no alcohol, no drugs. Sir, state your name and date of birth, please.
Julius Miles, 42877.
Thank you, sir. Sir, you've been picked up on 2 charges. One is burglary of occupied dwelling. The second is battery and dating violence. Reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Public defender is appointed in this matter. Bond on the burglary will be set in the amount of $5,000. Battery will be set in the amount of $1,000. You're not to return to 3024 North Powers, number 256. No contact with Cindy Jenkins. No alcohol, no drugs, no weapons, no firearms. And court will be revoking the bond in 2019 CF 7868. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
William Veroni, 10/12/73.
Thank you, sir. Been picked up on 2 charges. The first is battery by strangulation, domestic violence. The second is criminal mischief. You do qualify for the public defender. Court's reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. The battery by strangulation, bond will be set in the amount of $1,500. And criminal mischief, it'll be set in the amount of $150. Sir, you're not to have any contact with Nicole Shelley. That means no in-person contact, no telephone contact, no social media, it's just no contact. No alcohol, no drugs, no weapons, no firearms.
Is there no return on that, though? I didn't have copies of the work.
And no return to 1941 Hedge Row Circle. Good afternoon, ma'am. State your name and date of birth, please.
Denisha Lyons, 11/20/1993.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, you've been picked up on 2 charges. The first is domestic violence battery, the second is a battery. Reviewed the affidavit, found that there's sufficient probable cause. Public defender is appointed. Bond will be set on the battery domestic violence in the amount of $1,500. On the battery, it'll be set at $150. Pretrial release with the following conditions: no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, no firearms. No contact with Alvin Bolsi and, is it Josue Calebre Aldolfe?
Joshua.
Joshua, okay, that works too.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you know who I'm talking about.
Yes, ma'am.
Also, no return to 6701 Alta West Oak Drive. A.
That address isn't a good address.
Oh, you know what, you're right, hold on. I'm sorry, it's no return to 4824 Figwood Lane. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am. State your name and date of birth, please.
What is that? Sorry.
State your name and date of birth, please.
Jacinda Torres, 9/13/96.
Thank you, ma'am. Been picked up for domestic violence battery. I've reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Sir, state your name, please.
Adolphus Worthington.
Sir, is there something you would like the court to consider?
Yeah, I would like you to consider just like letting her out on pretrial release, seeing as how the situation wasn't bad. It was just from a viewpoint of a stand buyer, like an innocent person that was off to the side. He wasn't aware of what was going on. He or she wasn't aware of what was going on. It was just a simple splat argument that was just blown out of proportion due to an innocent bystander that wasn't even there during the whole entire encounter. I held no bad feelings towards her. That's my girlfriend. That's gonna be my future wife. So I don't, you know what I mean? There's no hard feelings between me or her. It was just a disagreement that was viewed from another person's eyes, I guess.
State, would you like to inquire?
Briefly, how long have you been with Ms. Torres?
I've known her for 5 years. I've dated her for like a year,
How long have you lived together?
like 7 months.
And who else lives with you?
Her son.
Sorry?
Her son,
And how old is her son?
less than 2 years old.
But it's not your son?
No.
And if something like this were to happen again, would you call law enforcement?
Yes.
But you didn't call law enforcement this time?
No, it was in a parking lot. It wasn't no need to. It was like I said, the situation wasn't bad. If something was a bad situation that escalated more, then I would possibly consider calling law enforcement. The situation that happened, it wasn't bad where I considered to call law enforcement. It was done and done. I'm sorry?
Are you afraid of Ms. Torres?
No, not at all.
I have no further questions.
Bond will be set in the amount of $1,000. Pretrial release with the following conditions: no hostile contact with Adolphus Washington, No alcohol, no drugs, no weapon, no firearms. PD is appointed. Good afternoon, sir. State your name, please.
James Buter,
Date of birth.
2/13/1989.
All right, sir, I'm gonna need you to speak up because I've got a printer up here that's really loud. So
Two-
there you
James Butner, 2/13/1989.
Thank you, sir. You've been picked up for grand theft third degree. Reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Public defender will be appointed. No return to the target located at 325 North Alafaya. Bond on this case will be set in the amount of $1,000. There's also a charge of petty theft. Again, I reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. No return to the target. Bond will be set in the amount of $500.
Hello.
Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
It's Benjamin St. John.
What happened to David Camp? Did he bond out?
He refused, Your Honor.
Oh, well, we'll see him tomorrow then. Sir, state your date of birth, please.
Excuse me?
Your date of birth, please.
11/24/87.
Thank you, sir. Been picked up on grand theft third degree as a result of a warrant. I reviewed it. I find there's sufficient probable cause.
No,
Public-
Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
I was
Well, that's what you're being charged with.
in this county?
As a result of the warrant, yes, sir. Public defender, you have been appointed. Bond to be set in the amount of $500. There's to be no return to the premium outlets located at 8200 Vineland Avenue.
It was.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
So I'm just waiting for Osceola. Pick me up? Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Rodney Grader, 7593.
Thank you, sir. Sir, you've been picked up on a couple of matters. The first is possession of firearm by convicted felon, aggravated battery with a firearm, and attempted homicide. I've reviewed the warrant and find there's sufficient probable cause. Public defender is appointed. Possession of firearm by a convicted felon, bond will be set in the amount of $5,000. Aggravated battery with a firearm will be set in the amount of $15,000. Attempted homicide would be set in the amount of $25,000. You're not to have any contact with Darius Berete. No weapons, no firearms, no alcohol, no drugs. And the court will be revoking any bonds in 19 CF 5219, 19 CF 8538, 19 MM 5117. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Jerry Howe, 8995.
Thank you, sir. So you've been picked up for possession of tetrahydrocannab. I'm just, I'm good?
Yeah, he almost,
Public defender has been appointed. Bond on that case is $2,500. There's sufficient probable cause. No alcohol, no drugs. Looks like you're also out on bond for possession of meth in 2019 CF 6760. That bond will be revoked and set at 0. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Torrance Johnson, February 9, 1998.
Thank you, sir. You've been picked up on 2 warrants for failure to appear. You do not qualify for the public defender. There's been no bond set on those warrants, sir. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Isaiah Lamar, 2/20/1964.
Thank you, sir. It's been picked up on 3 charges. One is tampering with physical evidence, possession of alcohol on the street, sidewalk, or alleyway, and trespass on property after warning. Reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Sir, did you want the public defender to be appointed in this case? All right, public defender will be appointed. Bond on the tampering with physical evidence will be set in the amount of $1,000 on possession of alcohol on street, sidewalk, or alleyway. It'll be ROR. Trespass on property after warning, $500. Sir, you're not to return to 5210 Silver Star Road. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Date of birth is September 28th, 1986.
Thank you, sir. Looks like you've been picked up on a charge of driving while license suspended with 2 prior convictions. You do qualify for the public defender. Bond will be set in the amount of $1,500. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Corey Lewis,
Date of birth?
July 12, 1993.
Thank you, sir. It's been picked up on 3 charges. The first is aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. There's actually 2 counts on that, and then a carjacking. Reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Public defender will be appointed. Bond on the aggravated assault with deadly weapon on the first count will be set at $2,500. Second count will be set at $500. And carjacking will be set at $20,000. You're to have no contact with the victim.
Judgment but also no weapons.
No weapons, no firearms, no alcohol, no drugs. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Sharon Mathis, June 1st, 88.
Thank you. So you've been picked up on a couple of items. One is fleeing and eluding law enforcement with siren and lights activated, grand theft, 3rd degree motor vehicle, burglary of a conveyance. Public defender is appointed. Reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. And the fleeing and eluding law enforcement with siren and lights activated. And bond will be set in the amount of $10,000. Grand theft, 3rd degree, it'll be set at $5,000. Burglary of conveyance, it'll be set at $5,000. There was another one back here. Okay, just gotta find it. We've also been picked up on attempted 2nd degree murder of a law enforcement officer. aggravated battery on law enforcement officer with motor vehicle, aggravated fleeing and eluding law enforcement officer with injury and property damage, resisting officer with violence. I reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. The attempted second-degree murder of law enforcement with a weapon, bond to be set in the amount of $50,000. Aggravated battery, $150. Aggravated fleeing, $5,000. Resisting officer with violence, $150. Good afternoon. State your name and date of birth, please.
Jocelyn Rideau, 31785.
Can you talk into the microphone?
Jocelyn Rideau, 31785.
Thank you. Been picked up on several matters. You do qualify for the public defender. One of the charges is fleeing to elude police officer, driving while license suspended. Reviewed the arrest warrant. I find there's sufficient probable cause. On fleeing and eluding police officer, failure to obey, bond will be set in the amount of $3,000. Knowingly driving while license suspended or revoked, it'll be set in the amount of $1,500. There's also fraud, impersonating false ID given to law enforcement. Reviewed the affidavit, find sufficient probable cause. Bond will be set in the amount of $500. And then a failure to appear warrant was issued with an amount of $2,000. Thank you, sir. Yes. Good afternoon. State your name and date of birth, please.
Nikos Roman, April 12, 1991.
Did Terry Rivers bond out?
Yes, ma'am.
So you've been picked up on 2 charges. The first is driving while license suspended with 2 prior convictions. The second is resisting officer without violence. Reviewed the affidavit to find there's sufficient probable cause. Public defender will be appointed. Bond on the driving while license suspended set in the amount of $2,500. Resisting officer without violence be set at $500. It also looks like you're out on bond in 19 CF 693. That bond will be revoked. Set at 0. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Richard Russ, 10/22/1989.
Thank you, sir. So you've been picked up on 2 charges. The first is possession of meth. The second is possession of drug paraphernalia. Reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Public defender will be appointed. Bond will be set on the possession of meth in the amount of $1,000, possession of drug paraphernalia in the amount of $500. You'll have pretrial release with the following conditions: no alcohol, no drugs, and random urinalysis. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Marshawn Turpin, 1990, July 31st, 1992.
Thank you, sir. So Sir, you've been picked up on attempted second-degree murder with a firearm. Reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. You do qualify for the public defender. Bond to be set in the amount of $25,000. State, do you happen to have the name of the victim handy?
I do not have a copy of the report.
Looks like the last name is Park. Not to have any contact with the victim. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Lee Vance, 32672.
Thank you, sir. You've been picked up on 2 charges. The first is possession of cocaine, the second is possession of drug paraphernalia. Reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. You do qualify for the public defender. Bond on the possession of cocaine will be set in the amount of $1,000. Possession of drug paraphernalia will be set in the amount of $100. Also looks like you're out on bond for the same charge under 19 CF 7776. That bond will be revoked and set at 0. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Vincent Whitmore, September 10th, 1999.
Thank you, sir. Been picked up on 3 charges. The first is burglary of conveyance while wearing a mask, grand theft, and criminal mischief. Sir, are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
How much do you earn?
$950.
You do not qualify for the public defender. Of course, review the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond will be set on the burglary of conveyance in the amount of $5,000, grand theft in the amount of $2,500, criminal mischief in the amount of $150. You're not to return to 2603 South Hiawassee Road. Do you qualify for pretrial release conditions? I mean, no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, no firearms. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Taneas Bergson, date of birth is February the 1st, 1994.
Sir, you've been picked up on a reckless driving charge, as well as resisting officer without violence. The reckless driving charge, I reviewed the affidavit. I find sufficient probable cause. The bond will be set in the amount of $500. Resisting officer without violence, I find there's probable cause. Bond will be set in the amount of $500. You do qualify for the public defender. like you're out on bond in 19 CF 10403. That will be revoked and set at 0.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Martin Grossman, February 3rd, 1970.
Thank you, sir. So you've been picked up on trespass on property after a warning. I reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond will be set in the amount of $1,000, and you're not to return to Saratoga Springs Resort. Saratoga. Can't even read my own writing. Thank you, sir. Did you want the public defender appointed to represent you in this case, sir?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Did you want the public defender appointed to represent you in this
No.
case? All right. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Hedridge John, Hedridge, John,
Thank you, sir.
10/29/88.
You do qualify for the public defender. You've been picked up on trespass on property after warning. Reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Sir, bond will be set on that case in the amount of $500. You're not to return to the Caden Apartments. And the court won't take any action with 19 CF 10364. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Eugene Hosey, 2/1975.
Sir, do you have a job?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
How much do you earn?
I earn like $380 every week. And it's a temp service called KBI.
Based on that income, you don't qualify for the public defender, sir. Been picked up for trespass on property after warning. Reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond will be set in the amount of $500. You're not to return to 455 North Garland Avenue. Thank you, sir. Sir, state your name, please.
William Jones, 32983.
Sir, you've been picked up on a couple of matters. You have petty theft from the Family Dollar. I've reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Public defender will be appointed. Bond is set in the amount of $500. Sir, you're not to return to the Family Dollar located at 14254 East Colonial Drive. And we have another petty theft. Reviewed the affidavit. I find sufficient probable cause. Bond will be set in the amount of $500. You're not to return to 14902 East Colonial Drive. And then a third petty theft, this time with Academy Sports. Reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. The bond will be set in the amount of $500, and you're not to return to the Academy Sports located at 11955 East Colonial Drive. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth.
Good afternoon. Sheikh Karim, October the 2nd, 53, 1950.
Thank you, sir. You've been picked up on a charge of resisting officer without violence. Reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Public defender will be appointed in this matter. Bond will be set at $500. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. State your name and date of birth, please.
Savannah Rhodes, 6692.
Thank you. Ma'am, you've been picked up for loitering or prowling. Court's reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Public defender will be appointed in this matter. Bond will be set at the amount of $250, and you're not to return to the Wakaiva Riverwalk. Court will take no action on 19 CF 10449.
Your Honor, how much was bond again? I didn't hear you.
250?
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Casey Richardson, December 7, 1989.
Thank you, sir. Been picked up on a charge of resisting officer or obstructing without violence. I reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Public defender will be appointed in this matter. Bond will be set in the amount of $500.
And he does qualify for PTR, Your Honor.
I'm not going to require PTR on this case. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Patrick Chipper, 51375.
Thank you, sir. Been picked up on a couple of items. The first is trespass on property other than structure or conveyance. Court has reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond will be set in the amount of $500. You're not to return to the Blossom Park condominiums. Sir, were you asking for the public defender to be appointed?
No, I just was going to plead no contest.
State, do you have an offer?
5 days.
Sir, the offer from the state is 5 days in the Orange County Jail. Is that what you would like to accept?
I guess if I have no choice.
Oh, you have every choice.
Mhm.
That's what today's about. Why don't you talk to this gentleman standing next to you real quick? Counsel, just so you know, there's another case too. It's a petty theft. Which one?
Is it related to this case, Your Honor?
It doesn't appear to be. It's a different location. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Two of them got stuck together.
Oh.
That's my bad. That's a different person.
Just so you say yes. I'll take it. Thank you.
All right, do we have a plea form? Sir, raise your right hand to be sworn, please. You want to do it? You want me to do it? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Sir, I'm holding a plea form in my hand which appears to have your signature on it. Did you read it?
Yes.
Did you understand it?
Yes.
Did you have enough time to speak with the attorney about it?
Yes.
On this form, it sets forth your constitutionally protected rights. Do you agree to waive those rights in exchange for the court accepting this plea today?
Yes.
If you are not a United States citizen, do you understand that by entering into this plea, it will be cause for deportation?
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
Based upon the court's review of the affidavit, I find there's sufficient factual basis to move forward. Sir, I'm going to find that you are alert and intelligent, that you're entering into this plea freely and voluntarily, and the court will accept it. The terms of the plea will be 5 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for time served. You'll need to pay the court costs associated with this case within a year or set up a payment plan to do so. Sir, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
You have 30 days in which to appeal. If you need the services of an attorney, you can apply to the court. If you qualify, one will be appointed to you. Good luck to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
State your name, please.
Giovanni Brown.
What happened with Ken Vasquez?
He's mental health, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. State your date of birth, please.
January the 12th, 1992.
Thank you. Ms. Brown, you've been picked up on an out-of-county warrant. It's out of Seminole County, and there's no bond on that. They'll be informed that you're here, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. State your name, please.
Keith McLaughlin.
One more time.
Keith Allen McLaughlin, second, ma'am.
What happened to Brandon Kiles?
He bonded, Your Honor.
Sir, you've been picked up on grand theft third degree. Reviewed the affidavit, find there's sufficient probable
Ma'am?
cause.
Can I,
So today is the day that I tell you what the charges are. I'm gonna let you know if there's any bond and what the conditions of the bond would be. It's really not the time for you to talk about the facts of your case because that can be used against you.
I wasn't gonna talk about the facts, it's just that I had no affidavit, and it was for out of county, and I'm just telling, it's been an identity mix-up, like somebody used my name. It's
Okay,
like,
sir, that would be facts of the case that you would need to handle with the trial court.
it's just because I have no police report, I have no affidavit whatsoever, it just says, it's saying I've been picked up on a warrant number, no case number or nothing. I mean, I was just trying to figure out, well, what was the probable cause, because if you had an affidavit, I don't have one.
I have 2 active warrants in case 18 CF 4494.
Is that out of Osceola County?
It is.
But like I'm saying, like, I haven't seen anything, just like a report, just a statement of the facts or whatever, saying why I was picked up, because I've never even been to Osceola County, Your Honor. Like,
And again, that's all information that you'll have to handle with the trial court. I've found that there's probable cause to move forward. Bond is gonna be set in the amount of $5,000, sir.
ma'am, is there any way possible I could just ask what the probable cause was, because like, there's nothing, like, no police report to even go off of, you know? You know, I'm not trying to be hard up or nothing like that, I'm just trying to get understanding, because this is really somebody else using my name. I promise you, because I haven't ever even left the county.
But that's all facts that would have to be fleshed out in the case itself. It's not for initial appearances today.
Was there any way you could tell me what the probable cause is, ma'am, please? Like, what was the probable cause?
You have an Osceola warrant under 18 CF 4494, that's your probable cause. And there's multiple cases. There's also grand theft of a motor vehicle. Bond to be set on $5,000 on that as well.
So is there, I could bond out of here then? Is that what?
Bond has been set in both cases at $5,000, so you can bond out of here as long as you pay the bond, yes, sir.
All right, one last question. Does it show that there was a previous arrest on this case? Like, was there, like, has there
No,
already?
this is an outstanding warrant out of Osceola, again, under case 18 CF 4494. So it's best that you go to that case and see if you can figure out what's going on in there, okay?
Okay.
Good luck, sir.
How long does they got to come get me? Osceola.
24 hours on Monday.
Good afternoon, ma'am. State your name and date of birth, please.
Jabria Stafford, 10/22/96.
Thank you, ma'am. Been picked up on a warrant out of Martin County. Ma'am, that warrant had set at a 0 bond. They'll be notified that you're here.
Okay.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Hector Cordova.
Who?
Hector Cordova.
Did we lose Michael White? Mental health. Thank you. So you've been picked up on a violation of probation. There's no bond set on that warrant. You do qualify for the public defender. Thank you. Good afternoon, ma'am. State your name and date of birth, please.
Days Charles, 05/16/1995.
Thank you. All right, ma'am, you've got several matters that you've been picked up on. Start with uttering a forged check and grand theft third degree. You do qualify for the public defender. Reviewed the arrest warrant, find there's sufficient probable cause. On uttering a forged check, bond will be set in the amount of $1,000. On the grand theft third degree, it'd be set at $500. We have unlawful possession of stolen credit card or debit card, credit card theft, taking or receiving, attempted fraudulent use of a credit card, and petty theft. Bless you. Reviewed the affidavit and the warrant, find there's sufficient probable cause. On the unlawful possession of stolen credit or debit card, bond will be set in the amount of $1,500. Credit card theft, $150. Attempted fraudulent use of a credit card, $150. And petty theft, $100. We have a child abuse. Reviewed the affidavit and the warrant. Find there's sufficient probable cause. Bond will be set in the amount of $5,000. Not to have any contact with the victim. And then there's a violation of probation with a 0 bond. And I believe that covers everything. Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Andrew Ramos, November 28, 1997.
Thank you, sir. You've been picked up on several charges. First is burglary of a conveyance. 3 charges of grand theft third degree, another burglary of conveyance, another grand theft third degree, another grand theft third degree motor vehicle. In the first burglary of conveyance, the bond will be set in the amount of $3,500. The grand theft third degree, $150. Grand theft third degree, $150. Grand theft third degree, $150. Burglary of conveyance, $150. Grand theft third degree, $150. Grand theft third degree, $150. Grand theft third degree motor vehicle, $5,000. You do qualify for the public defender. And there's also a violation of probation with 0 bonds. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Cedric Taylor, 53189.
Thank you, sir. Been picked up as a result of a violation of probation warrant. Sir, there's no bond on that. And you do qualify for the public defender. Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
William Lewis Johnson, 6/18/68.
Thank you, sir. Sir, you've been picked up on possession and consumption of alcohol prohibited in public. Reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. You do qualify for the public defender. Bond in this case will be set in the amount of $250. The court will not be taking any action on 19 CF 9921.
Judge, is there an offer in this case?
State, is there an offer in this case? No offer. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. State your name and date of birth, please.
Steve McCarter, 8/28/86.
Thank you, sir. So you've been picked up for disorderly conduct. I reviewed the affidavit. I find there's sufficient probable cause. Public defender will be appointed. Bond to be set in the amount of $250.
Your Honor, is there an offer in this case?
State, is there an offer in this case?
Yes, Judge, I'd offer credit time served.
Credit time served?
Yes, Judge.
Sir, would you like to accept the state's offer of credit time served?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel provide actually, the officer will provide you a plea form. Perfect. Sir, raise your right hand to be sworn, please. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. You can lower your hand. Sir, I'm holding a plea form in my hand, which appears to have your signature on it. Did you read it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it?
Yeah.
Do you agree to waive your constitutionally protected rights so that the court can accept this plea today?
Yes, ma'am.
If you are not a United States citizen, you understand that by entering into this plea, it will be cause for deportation.
Yes, ma'am.
Based upon the affidavit and facts before the court, I find there's sufficient factual basis to move forward. Sir, I'm going to find that you are alert and intelligent, that you're entering into this plea freely and voluntarily, and the court will accept it. The terms of the plea is credit time served. Sir, you'll need to make arrangements to pay the court costs in this case within a year. If you cannot pay them within a year, you'll need to report to the clerk's office to set up a payment plan. Do you have any questions?
No.
You have 30 days in which to appeal. If you need the services of an attorney, you can apply to the court. If you qualify, one will be appointed to you. Thank you, sir. Good luck to you. I have a Quentin Jackson.
What happened with,
Quentin Jackson?